everyone. In earlier lectures, we have discussed two simplification techniques, Boolean algebra and Karnaugh method. Now we will move to the third method, which is Quine-Maklinsky or tabulation method. So this Quine-Maklinsky or tabular method was developed by W.B. Quine and Edward J. Maklinsky. That's why it is known as Quine-Maklinsky method. It is a systematic approach for logic simplification. It is functionally identical to Karnaugh map. Means functionally it is the process is same to K-map. Now its advantages is that it does not have a limitation of number of variables. In K-map we have seen that for more than 5 variables it becomes cumbersome to form K-map. So for those conditions we can use this tabular method. Now the tabular form makes it more efficient for using computer algorithms. So you can use this tabular form for using computer algorithms. So it is also known as tabular method. Now we will let's see the concept of Quine-Maklinsky or tabular method. What is the concept of Quine-Maklinsky method? Now this method is based on complementation theorem. We can see it as this xy or x y bar. It will be equivalent to x only. Now this x can represent either a variable or it can express a term or it can express an expression. It can be a variable, a term or an expression. While y is a variable. So if you will take x common, so remaining will be y or y bar, and we know y or y bar will be equivalent to 1. So the equivalent will be x only. Now this theorem implies that Boolean expression which contains two terms that differ only in one variable. These two terms differ in only one variable, which is y. Here it is y, and in this other term it is y bar. So if the Boolean expression contains two terms that differ only in one variable, then they can be combined together and replaced with a term that is smaller by one little. So we are getting equivalent x. So we have reduced this the literal y. So all these terms reduced by one literal are further examined to see if they can be reduced further. So we keep on reducing them, these literals, by using this complementation theorem again and again. The process continues until the terms become irreducible, and the terms which are left at the end, irreducible terms, those are called prime implicants. So, and the optimum set of prime implicants that can account for all original midterms constitute the minimized expression. So, functionality is similar to K-map only. In K-map, we have to find all the prime implicants, then we have to find the essential prime implicant, and then we have to form an optimum set of those prime implicant and essential prime implicant to form the minimized expression. So, here also we are doing the same. So only to form the prime implicant, there we have to combine the maximum number of ones. Here we are using this complementation theorem, and we keep on using this until and unless we get the irreducible terms which are prime implicants. Then from those prime implicants we will find the essential prime implicant, and finally we will form using an optimum set of prime implicants we will form the minimized expression. Now this technique can be applied equally well for minimizing either SOP or POS. Now these are the main steps of tabular method. Two main steps are there. First of all, we have to find all prime implicants of the given Boolean equation. Now after finding the prime implicants, we have to use the prime implicants in the prime implicant chart. We will form a chart using all the prime implicants which we have got from step 1, and then we find the essential prime implicant and the other prime implicants that are required to completely cover the given equation. So first of all we will get all the prime implicants, then we will find the essential prime implicant, and along with those essential prime implicants we will use the other prime implicants that are required to cover the remaining midterms which are not covered by the essential prime implicant. Now let's go through an example. to clear our concepts. So we have this SOP function which is of four variable A, B, C, D. A is MSB while D is LSB, and we have these minterms, some of these minterms 1, 2, 3, 9, 12, 13 and 14. Now we also have optional terms or don't care terms which are 0, 7, 10 and 15. So our first step is to find the prime implicants. Now to find the prime implicants, first of all what we have to do, we have to list all the minterms and all the don't care terms, then their binary representation, and we have to find one more column to find the number of ones. So first thing is to find the number of ones. Now while forming these group of ones, we have to consider don't cares also. At this stage we have to consider don't cares also. So minterms are 1, 2, 3, 9, 12, 13 and 14. Their binary representation for 1 is 0, 0, 0, 1. As we are going for sum of products, so 0 will represent the complemented variable, that is 0 here defines A bar, and 1 for uncomplemented variable. So for D only we represent 1 for D bar 0. So here it is 1, so 0, 0, 0, 1, number of ones is 1. Similarly 2, 0, 0, 1, 0, the number of ones is 1 only. For 3, 0, 0, 1, 1 and the number of ones is 2. So on we have listed all the minterms. Then for the don't cares we have listed all the don't cares 0, 7, 10 and 15. For 0 it is 0, 0, 0, 0. So number of ones is 0 only. Then for 7 it is 3. 10 it is 2, number of ones is 2. For 15 it is 4. So first for first stage of this, firstly for step 1 we will form this table to find the number of ones. Now stage 1 of step 1 means we are finding prime implicant. So in under this step 1 we are having different stages. So now as we have uh, done this thing finding number of ones, so we will go to stage 1. So here all the minterms are put in different groups according to their number of ones. So suppose this group 0 consists of all the minterms which have number of ones as 0. Then this other group 1, here these minterms will have number of ones equal to 1 only. So the minterms are put in different groups depending on the number of ones they have in their binary equivalent, and in each group the minterms are ordered in increasing value of their decimal equivalent. So here in this group there are two minterms, so we will arrange them in ascending order. So first we will take 1 and then we will take 2. Now similarly for group 2 we are having minterms 3, 9, 10 and 12. Here all number of ones in each minterm is equals to 2. For group 3 we are having 7, 13, 14. Here each minterm has 3 ones. Now this fourth group it has 15th minterm, and 15 is don't care here. So we are combining all minterms and don't care terms to form the groups. So in while forming the groups we will consider don't cares also. Now coming to stage 2. Now in stage 2 what we will do, we will form pairs. That means we will compare minterm of one group with the minterm of other next group. Means group n will be compared with group n plus 1. That means this, if this is group n 0, so n plus 1 1. So this will be compared with this, not with the other groups. It will be compared only with this. Now similarly one group n is 1, so it will be compared with this group only, each of these groups. So what we will do, we will compare this 1 with 3, then this 1 with 9, this 1 with 10, this 1 with 12. Similarly after that 2 with 3, 2 with 9, 2 with 10, 2 with 12. Then similarly this for comparison of these two groups, 3 with 7, 3 with 13, 3 with 14. Similarly 9 with 7, 9 with 13, 9 with 14, 10 with 7, 10 with 13, 10 with 14, 12 with 7, 12 with 13, 12 with 14, and similarly 7 with 15, 13 with 15, 14 with 15. So we will compare, do the comparisons like this. So group n and group n plus 1, here n varies from 0 to 3. Now where there is a only one bit change in binary representation, now when there is only one bit change, when you will make the comparison, and if there is only one bit change in the binary representation, then the corresponding variable is eliminated using the adjacency theorem, and in in its position a dash is written. And after that when we have done all the comparisons, we check off all midterms in stage 1 that are covered by larger groups in stage 2. So now let's check. Now we have, first of all we will do the comparison. So this group 0 is this 0 group is compared with group 1. So first of all we will do the comparison between this 0 and 1. So we can see only one bit change is there, so one bit change is there, so we will take this 0 0, and this is one bit change, so we will mark it with the dash. That means one variable is reduced, this d variable is reduced. Now we have three variables only, and as it this after this comparison includes two midterms 0 and 1, so we have ticked these two midterms. Then similarly we can compare 0 with 2. So 0 with 2, so this 0 is 0 0 0 0 1 0 0, so there is only one bit difference at this place 0 1. So 0 0 dash for this place, one bit difference, and 0. So here also one variable is reduced, and it contains 0 and 2, so 0 is already ticked. Using this combination 2 we will tick. So similarly we will do all the comparisons, 1 with 3, 1 with 9, 1, so 1 3 and 1 9, these have one bit difference, so we have considered these. So we have ticked 3 and 9, 1 we have already ticked earlier. Then similarly 2 3, 2 3, so there is a difference here 0 1, so 0 0 1 and dash for the one bit difference. Then 2 10, 2 10, so this place we have a difference, 0 is changed to 1, others 0 1 0 are same, so 0 1 0 are kept same, and this dash represents one bit change. Similarly 3 is compared with 7, then 9 is compared, this 9 is compared, 9 is compared with 7, there is no one bit difference. So 9 is 9 is compared with 13, there is one bit difference, so we have taken this. So in this way we will form the whole table. So this table, stage 2 table is formed, and we have taken the stage 1 midterms which are used in forming these pairs. Now after this we will go to stage 3. In stage 3 the same process is repeated. Now we are using the complementation theorem to reduce the number of littles. So we will keep on repeating it until we get the irreducible terms. So again one more comparison can be done within these pairs. So in stage 3 same process is repeated. Now we will form pair of pairs. After the stage 3 process we will stop because there is no further comparison is possible. Next same what we will do, we will check off all the midterms of group of midterms in stage 2 that are covered by the larger groups in stage 3. The unchecked midterms marked with an asterisk are the prime implicant. So this thing we have got in stage 2. Now what we will do, we will do the comparisons between two groups. So this group 0, but we have to do a comparison between n and group n and group n plus 1 only. So this can be compared with this only. So this 0 1 will be compared with 1 3. So 0 1 and 1 3, no, so 0 0 0 0, so it has two uh, bit difference, 0 and this dash, this is also a difference. Then dash and 1, this is also different, so two bit difference is there, so we will not take this. Then this 0 1 is compared with 1 9, so it is also not possible. Then this 0 1 is compared with 2 3, so 0 0, this dash is this dash dash, then 0 1, so there is only one bit difference, so we will take 0 1 and this 2 3, so 0 1 2 3, so 0 0, this one bit difference 0 and 1, this 1, this is represented by dash and this dash is kept as it is. So this combination will cover 0 1 and 2 3, these pairs, so we will tick these pairs. Similarly, we will make comparison between 0 2 and 1 3. 0 2 and 1 3, there is a difference, 0 0 0 0, so this there is a one bit difference, but these we have already, this combination we have already covered in earlier combination of 0 1 and 2 3, so this is the, so it the same combination is there, so we will take only one. So then 0 2 will be compared with 1 9, then 0 2 will be compared with 2 3, 0 2 will be compared with 2 10, so you will find that there is no one bit difference. So as these pairs are not covered in this pairing, so we will mark these pairs with asterisk. So the terms which are marked with asterisk are prime implicants, because these are irreducible, these cannot be reduced further. So similarly, we will do other comparisons: 1 3 with 3 7, 1 3 with 9 13, 1 3 with 10 14, 1 3 with 12 13, 1 3 with 12 14, and so on. And we will see that finally at stage 3 we will get these two groups: 0 1 2 3, 12 13 14 and 15, and we can see that there is no one bit difference between these two, so these are also irreducible, so we will mark them as asterisk. So all the terms which are marked with asterisk are prime implicants, that means these are non irreducible. So first prime implicant is dash 0 0 1, so we can write it as, this a variable is reduced, so b bar c bar d, then this one 0 1 0, so b bar c d bar, then this one it will be a bar c d, this will be a c bar d, this will be a c d bar, this will be a b c d, and these two a bar b bar a b. So we are having 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, we are having 8 prime implicants. Now we will move to step 2. Now step 2 is to find the essential prime implicants, and for that we will use the prime implicant chart. Now how we will form the prime implicant chart? We will at this side, for each row we will write the prime implicants, and for columns we will write the min terms. So these are prime implicants and these are min terms. So remember one thing, that don't care inputs are not considered while constructing the prime implicant chart. Don't care terms are considered only for the grouping, for pairing. As we in K-map also we consider don't cares only if they are helping in grouping. So remember this thing, that don't cares inputs are not considered while considering the prime implicant. So we have taken only min terms here, not the don't care terms. So prime implicants are shown as rows and minterms as columns, and X is placed to indicate that covering of the minterm by prime implicant. Now we will place a cross under the minterm which are covered by this particular prime implicant. So B bar C bar D, so we can see B bar C bar D, B bar C bar D covers 1 and 9. So it covers 1 and 9. Similarly, B bar CD. So B bar CD. So this is B bar CD. So B bar CD. So it covers 2 and 10. As 10 is don't care, so it covers only 2 minterm, second minterm. Then A bar CD. Then A bar CD. So this one is A bar CD. It covers 3 and 7. So it covers 3 and 7 was the don't care term. Then A C bar D. A C bar D covers 9 and 13. A C bar D C bar D covers 9 and 13. Then A C D bar. A C D bar. So ACD bar covers 10 and 14. So ACD bar covers 10 and 14. 10 was don't care, so 40. It covers 14th minterm. Then BCD. So BCD covers 7 and 15, and both were don't care, so it covers no minterm. Then A bar B bar, it covers A bar B bar covers 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0 was don't care, so 1, 2, 3. It covers 1, 2, 3 minterm. Then similarly AB, AB covers 12, 13, 14, 15. So 12, 13, 14, 15 was the don't care term. So we have marked all the cross. Now we have formed this prime implicant chart. Now what we have to do next, we have to find the column that has single X and circle it. Now as we can see in this, we have to check for the column which has single X. It has 2x, 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 2x. This column only has 1x only. So that means if we will check the column that has single X and circle it, then the associated prime implicant is an essential prime implicant as it covers at least one minterm not covered by the other prime implicant. That means this this minterm is covered, this 12th minterm is covered only by this prime implicant, which is AB. So this AB is essential prime implicant. An asterisk is placed to indicate that the prime implicant is essential. So this AB is essential prime implicant. So we have placed an asterisk in the prime implicant chart. Then we have to tick all the minterms that are covered by essential prime implicant. So this 12, 13 and 14 minterms are covered by this essential prime implicant. So we will tick all these minterms. Now there are in the function there are remaining minterms which are not covered by the essential prime implicant. So what we will do, we will find secondary essential prime implicant by drawing a reduced prime implicant chart. Now to form this reduced prime implicant chart, what we have to do, we have to remove the essential prime implicant, this AB, and also these minterms which are covered by this AB. So we have removed that AB row and those columns, those minterms which were covered by those by that essential prime implicant. So we get this reduced prime implicant chart. Now we can see in this there is no column with a single cross. So that means we cannot find the secondary essential prime implicant. Now what we will see that this A bar B bar, it can cover most of the remaining minterm. That means this A bar B bar can cover 1, 2 and 3. All three can be covered by A bar B bar. So this A bar B bar also we have to consider. For this this minterm 9, we can use either this prime implicant or this prime implicant. So minterm 1, 2 and 3 are covered by prime implicant A bar B bar. These three minterms are covered by prime implicant A bar B bar. Minterm 9 can be covered by either B bar C bar D or A C bar D. And minterm 12, 13 and 14 were covered by essential prime implicant AB. So we can finally get the minimized Boolean function, which is A dot B, which is an essential prime implicant. So we will have to consider it. Then or A bar B bar. So A bar B bar to cover all these three minterms, and B bar C bar D to cover this ninth minterm. Or it can be represented by A dot B or A bar B bar. So this is to cover minterm 12, 13 and 14. This is essential prime implicant, so it will be present in all the possible combinations, all the possible ways to represent this Boolean function. Then this A bar B bar also, this represent all these three minterms, so A bar B bar, and this A C bar D is for this ninth minterm. So this way we get this minimized Boolean function, which can be represented in these two forms. So finally we can summarize this tabular method. First of all, we have to expand the Boolean expression. If it is not in expanded form, we have to expand it. Then different terms in the expression are divided into different groups according to the number of ones they have. If you are going for SOP, then 1 means true form, 0 for complemented variable, and for POS 1 represents complement form while 0 for true form. So the reverse is true in case of POS expression. Then these groups are arranged beginning with the group having least number of ones, and within the group you represent minterms in ascending order. So you can see here, so this is the SOP function. So you will arrange them firstly in ascending order of number of ones. So it has 0 1, then it has 1, then 2 3 and so on. And within a group also you will arrange the minterms in ascending order of their decimal equivalent. For POS, you will take A, B, C, D. That means 0, 0, 0. So first you will take A, B, C, D, because in POS 0 represents true form. So this way you will form, and then you will do the grouping. Now, if there are don't care terms, then these are considered while forming groups only at the stage where you are forming groups, not after you have got all the prime inputs. Now, the term of first group are successively matched with those in the next adjacent higher order group to look for all any possible matching and consequent reduction. So, the terms are considered matched when all literals except for one match. So, we will put a dash where the position of unmatched literals is replaced with a dash. Means you will represent a 1 bit change with a dash. Now, the new terms found as a result of matching process find a place in the second table. Now, the terms in the first table that do not find a match are called prime implicants, are marked with the asterisk. We have done this thing, seen this thing earlier also, and the matched terms are ticked. Terms which are matched are represented by a tick, and the terms which are not matched are represented by an asterisk, and those terms are prime implicants. Now terms in the second group are compared with those in the third group. So we will keep on do the comparison until and unless we get the irreducible terms. So the process continues until we reach the last group. This completes the first round of matching. The terms resulting from the matching in the first round are recorded in the second table, from second table to third table, so on. Now the next step is to perform matching operations in second table. So similarly, a dash will represent 1 bit difference. In this, for the second table, uh, third table, this to perform matching order operations in second table. So for third table, we must be having variables as well as dash. So this dash is also treated like an other variable. That is, that dash signs also need to match. So you have to match dash with the dash. If dash is one minterm, at one pair it is dash and on the other it is 1, so it will also count for 1 bit change. So the process continues on the third table, the fourth table, and so on until the terms become irreducible any further. Now next thing, we have got all the prime implicants by doing this comparisons and forming one table from another. Now when we get a table where the no further comparison is possible, so we got all the irreducible terms, so we will collect all the irreducible terms, and those are our prime implicants. So next we will form the prime implicant chart. So remember that optional or don't care terms are considered for matching or grouping, but they do not have to be accounted for once prime implicants have been identified. So we will not use don't cares in this prime implicant chart. Now prime implicants are shown as rows and minterms as columns in this prime implicant chart, and X is placed to indicate the covering of the minterm by the prime implicant. Now to find the optimum set of prime implicant, what we have to do? We have to look for single prime implicant That means we have to go check for a single cross in a column of prime implicant chart. That means that particular minterm can be covered by only that specific prime implicant, which will be our essential prime implicant. So this prime implicant will be our essential prime implicant. So after that we have to find out optimum set of remaining prime implicants to cover the midterms that have not been covered by the essential prime implicant. So the left out midterms which was not covered by the essential prime implicant. So we have, for those we have to find the optimum set of remaining prime implicants. Then finally an optimum selection of prime implicants to account for all the original terms constitute the terms of minimized expression. So finally, the minimized expression will contain essential prime implicant, all the essential prime implicant, and the plus the remaining prime implicants, which will cover the midterms which were not covered by the essential prime implicant. So this way you can use tabular method for the simplification of a specific Boolean expression. So this method is used whenever there are more than 5 variables. Now we have discussed all three simplification techniques, which are Boolean algebra, K-map, and tabular method. Thank you.